Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Taroscopes again. This is the Taroscopes for the sign of Virgo for the month of April. That would be Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, or Virgo Rising. I'm going to be using the Druid Oracle deck, Druid Craft Oracle deck. This is one of the little bags that Ona made for me. I believe you can get these from her if you want, and it's nice for this deck because it's so big. Before we get to the read on the tarot, I want to just go over a little bit of astrology with you. Of course, as a Mercury ruled sign, what happens with Mercury for the Virgo is important. Mercury actually moves into Taurus, one of your other earth signs, one of the other earth signs in the zodiac. And so there's a flow of energy between Mercury and Taurus and Virgo. However, Mercury does have a retrograde cycle that starts on the 15th, I think. No, on the 21st. It starts on the 21st. So Mercury moves into Taurus on the 3rd. From the 21st, it turns around, goes retrograde. It is retrograde until it is retrograde until May. Let me see here. May 11th, I think. Nope. When does it go direct? Oh, goodness gracious. When does? Oh no, that's right. It's April. So I'm looking at the wrong month. It goes direct on. Oh goodness gracious! I should know this. I should have seen it. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Sorry about this, guys. I'm gonna look at it this way. Oops. It's like I have the technology. I have a calendar. Old school, man, old school. All right, Mercury goes direct on May 14th. May 14th. So Mercury is retrograde from 16 degrees to 6 degrees. So 10 degrees of Taurus. But in the meantime, before it goes retrograde, and even after it goes retrograde, it's activating a lot of different planets. We have the day that it goes into Taurus, it immediately squares Pluto because Pluto is now in Aquarius. So that can be a little fraught. The beginning of, as soon as Mercury moves into Taurus, there is a challenge. There is a challenge. It is a crisis, and it's a crisis that needs you to take action. Needs all of us to take action, but you will feel it. Then we actually have later in the week, we have Mercury make a supportive sextile to Saturn. That's very helpful. And then a sextile to Mars. Mars is now in Cancer at this time. Then it goes retrograde. And then the next aspect it makes as it backs up is that sextile to Mars again. So there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of opportunity here, even though Mercury is retrograde. And we just have to make sure that we're like double checking what we say and dotting our I's and crossing our T's and all of that. And then at the end of the month, we have the very last day of the month. I believe it's the last day of the month, the 30th. Oh, the 29th. Yeah, the 29th. We have Mars make a sextile to Uranus, and Mars, of course, in Cancer, Uranus in Taurus is an opening of the lines of communication, but unusual communications and perhaps some unusual actions, but that's towards the end of the month. Otherwise, we do have Saturn now moving through the opposite sign of Pisces, and so you will be tested through awareness of the other or awareness of situations because Saturn only makes it to about 8 degrees of Pisces before it backs up. Anybody within that first 8 degrees are going to have any of your Virgo planets in that first 8 degrees is going to have an opposition from Saturn. And so any of those planets that perhaps conjoined Saturn 14 years ago are coming to a sense of fruition, right? There's something that was seeded 14 years ago is coming to fruition now in that opposition to your Virgo planets. So that's something to consider as well. So things are, the chickens are coming home to roost, so to speak. And, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, Virgos tend to work really hard and quietly in the background. And now and again, you know, a reward comes along, and this could very well be that cycle of reward for you. Yeah, I think that's what I want to say. So that's what I see in the astrology, just briefly off the top of my head. If you want more astrology, you can check out the astrology Kabbalah of April 2023 when I get into the more specifics of what's going on in the sky and how it's reflected energetically on the tree of life, which is the Kabbalah part of the work I do. So we are shuffling these gigantic cards, not easy. And we're going to see what's up for your sign, Virgo, for the month of April. The month of April. Of course, April is one of those busy primary, initial gardening months. There are certain things you're going to be putting in your garden if you're a gardener. And if a Virgo has a patch of land, usually they'll plant something. It is the sign around harvesting, right? Harvesting. Virgo is a harvest. Celebration of the harvest. Okay, let's see what we got here. We have the Six of Pentacles. So just what I said, this is going to be a time of pretty much being given what you've earned. This is about balancing the scales financially, dealing, getting help perhaps, but certainly it's a harvest time for you. Let's see what challenges that. There is a certain amount of disruption, but the disruption is outside of your environs, but you have to keep an eye on it. So just in case you're harvesting your crop and there's an invading army coming over the hill, you just need to be aware of that. You still have the upper hand and you still have the ability to prepare for what's coming. So not to worry, just to be vigilant, Underneath it, we have the, this card is called the Fearless, which I'm not even sure how that's you say it, but it's the card of alchemy. It's a temperance card. So you're in a healing mode, but the temperance card is also about having to be very careful the way you step forward. You want one foot in front of the other. You want to utilize your ability to know how to mix things together to manifest, and the magic of admixture, so to speak. So, but definitely there's a healing happening for you, Virgo. In the past, we have the Eight of Swords. There have been times when you have felt that there was not much you can do, that any step you took forward would have been dangerous. It required you to utilize some stealth perhaps and some intuition in order to get through some sticky situations. So the past has not been all that easy, actually. And I think that's true of most of us, honestly. In the sky, we have the Princess of Swords. This is about listening to the wind, right? Listening to what's being said. There are messages coming in, but they're subtle. And I think this also has to do with the invading army that's coming over the hill. I think that you have to keep your ears open for that. Let's see your immediate future. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. Two of Wands is In this deck, it's really about moving through a portal, a doorway. I think a new direction for you, or perhaps new opportunities. This is a very opportunistic card, so we have new opportunities coming. In how you're seen from the outside, we have the Lord card, which is the Emperor. So people see you as capable of leadership, capable of leadership. A lot of times Virgo likes to stay in the background and not necessarily take on the mantle of leadership. They'd much rather be the advisor or the astrologer or the Merlin to Arthur, right? Like that kind of energy. But you have the capacity to lead. In your domestic situation, something is coming to an end. Either it is an action comes to an end, the last action is taken, or just a new paradigm. The old paradigm is done. And if this is the past, and this is the domestic situation, I think you no longer have to tread so lightly or tread so carefully, because whatever thoughts, perhaps, whatever things that you said in your head that prevented you from really moving forward are gone, over, done, end. Hopes and fears, the Nine of Pentacles. You hope for stability. You hope for self-reliance. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I guess some people don't, but I do. I like being self-reliant. We're all moving in the direction of self-reliance, but not self-reliance in a selfish way, but reliance on ourselves and our ability to live the kind of life that we want to live, not isolated from others, but living in harmony with others, I think. But this is your hopes and fears, and you're hoping for a little rest maybe, and sort of sitting on your laurels, or even just being able to rest now that what's coming to you has come to you. It's like, cool. Outcome, the Two of Cups. Perhaps if you are not in a relationship, a new relationship is coming. This is about relating on a level, on the same level. You're dealing with somebody who stands toe-to-toe with you, somebody who doesn't need you but wants to be with you. There's a difference. Let's see if we can get a major arcana within 3. We have the Queen of Wands. It's a very nice card. The High Priestess. The Queen of Wands and the High Priestess together indicates to me the power of the feminine. This is new information coming in. So if, while in your domestic situation something comes to an end, ultimately new information is coming in. It's coming directly from spirit. You just need to be open to it, Let's see what's underneath. We have the King of Wands to go with the Queen of Wands. So this is believing in your perspective, ruling from that perspective. The King of Wands believes. He's a believer, but he believes because he's experienced it. It's not like he believes because somebody told him to believe, or he believes because he hopes to believe. He believes because he's seen it work, right? The Prince of Swords, this can be somebody who comes in to cause some disruption, not always meaning to. And the Ace of Cups, which is happiness. So we're not without our challenges, of course, but ultimately, I think April's going to be a good month for you guys. It looks good. All right, let me pull a, like going to another dimension from the Druids, although maybe not so different. We don't really know what the Druids knew completely. We're going to go to the Starseed Oracle cards. So let me pull one of those. I have like cards piled up on both sides of myself here. It's a little dangerous. Living the dangerous life. If this is as dangerous as my life gets, that's okay, I figure. All right, let's see. Let's do a little shuffle off to Buffalo here. All right. Called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. I did say you'd get to rest, but I guess not too long. Let me read this for you. Now that you're free from fear, this may be the time to step forward. You're allowed to get a little bit of rest, though, so you can sit on your laurels for just a little while. But you know you wouldn't be happy just sitting there. That's not Virgo. Virgo is a doer. Virgo is a worker. Virgo likes to make things better, right? We like it. We like it. Okay, let me hold this up and I'll read it to you. Let me just make sure we have a good focus on this lovely card. It says you came to Earth with a double mission, to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust what it is that your soul is calling you toward, for it is encoded within the most direct path forward. Your soul has many unique gifts that it came here to share. Some of you may already be aware of others. You're just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gift. If you are being called toward a creative project, a passion, or an adventure, this card is your confirmation that you're facing the right way and that this moment is right here, that this moment right here is destined. If you feel unprepared or underprepared or thinking, who am I to do that? Which of course, Virgos might say, remember, people see you as a leader. And consider perhaps that your soul has been training for this moment right here for lifetimes. You're being called into service, but the real service of planetary evolution. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you would. You give me a thumbs up. That's very helpful. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you, Cash Peters, for mentioning me. I want to thank my tried and true subscribers who have been with me for years as we've taken this journey together. It's been my pleasure to share with you what I know, and hopefully it's helpful for you. If you're interested in getting a reading with me, you can contact me at my website, thesiegeoftransformation.com. I do astrology, Kabbalah, numerology readings, and I have a 60-minute reading and I have a 90-minute reading on my website. You can select either one of those. I like the 90-minute reading for first-timers because it lays a good foundation. And then if you're doing an update, usually an hour is enough, but it's up to you. It's up to you how long you want to talk to me. And I'm also having, I do have a Patreon page if you want to support my work. That's a way to do it, $5 a month, whatever you choose to do. There are some things on my Patreon page that have not made it to my YouTube. And so there's more stuff on Patreon than there's more stuff on YouTube, but there's stuff that's not on YouTube that's on Patreon, mostly political stuff. I have a whole series of The Devil's in the Details, the making of the devil that is Trump. But I also am doing a beginner's astrology. And then there's one other thing I wanted to tell you. Beginner's astrology starting in April. I believe it's going to start in the second week of April. If you're interested in that, it's a great beginner's class, but it's also a great class to just brush up on the basics. Every time I teach it, I learn something new. So I'm sure if you've taken it in, maybe you would like to take it again. That might be to get it like in the noggin. Repetition, right? Repetition helps. Okay, guys, have a great month. I'll see you again next month for the Taroscopes for the month of May. But until then, enjoy the fruits of your labor. And you have time now to figure out what your next step is. And it's going to be a big one. and it's going to matter, as it always does for you, Virgo. Take care. Namaste.